All right, time for AP Macro. I am going to go over Phillips Curve with you guys today. Phillips Curve is another way to show inflationary and recessionary gaps or full employment. So Phillips Curve shows the trade-off between inflation and unemployment. So it's a new graph. We're looking at the trade-off between inflation and unemployment. In general, there is an inverse relationship between unemployment and inflation. When one is up, the other is down. So that's where we get this short-run Phillips curve coming down. When inflation is high, usually unemployment is low, and when inflation is low, usually unemployment is high. Alright, so short-run Phillips curve is that same line. When the economy is overheating, there is low unemployment but high inflation, right here. And when the economy is in a recession, unemployment is high but inflation is low. So this is our short-run Phillips curve showing that relationship between inflation and unemployment. So like if inflation was at 5%, our unemployment would be lower at 2%. Or if inflation was at only 1%, then our unemployment most likely will be higher at 9%. Alright, short-run Phillips curve. So let's look at what happens when AS causes falling stagflation. So if oil prices go up and AS from our ADAS graph moves into the left, and that causes high prices and high unemployment, what would that look like on a short-run Phillips curve? You would have to move the entire line to get a situation like that. So AS moves to the left, causing high price level and lower GDP and high unemployment. Then to show that on this Phillips curve graph, you take the short-run PC line and you move it to the right so that you can now have high inflation and high unemployment at the same time. So if AS is moving, you gotta shift the short-run PC line. Alright, there is also a long-run PC line, long-run Phillips curve. In this one, there is no trade-off between inflation and unemployment. It's just a straight up and down line, long-run PC, and it is vertical at the natural rate of unemployment. So for the US, natural rate of unemployment is between 4 and 6%, so we'll just call it 5. And we're saying that at 5%, or the natural rate of unemployment, we're going to have this long-run PC line that's straight up and down. Inflation isn't related to it, that just is what it is. Don't forget that the natural rate of unemployment is not zero unemployment, because we always have frictional and structural unemployment. So depending on the country it'll be different, but in the US it's between 4 and 6%. We'll call it 5, natural rate of unemployment. Okay, so ADAS and Phillips curve are directly related. Phillips curve is actually a mirror image of this, -1 line. So when you move lines on ADAS, you're going to move things over here as well. So this slide, we're looking at what happens when we move around AD. So if AD were to decrease, what are we going to do over here on Phillips curve? So on AD, we have a higher price level, and then we move AD down, and now we have a lower price level, and our output went down as well. Output and unemployment are inversely related. So if output goes down, then unemployment goes up. So we need to show that over here. So what we do is we say, okay, this is where we were at. We're on, right here, this green dot, with this level of inflation and this level of unemployment. And to show this change over here, we just slide down in the opposite direction. See how this green dot went down to the left? This one's going to go down to the right, because output and unemployment are inversely related. So our price level has gone down, inflation has gone down, and our unemployment has gone up. Over here, price level has also gone down, just like it says, and output has gone down, which means unemployment is going to go up. So when we move AD, we're just sliding along this short-run Phillips curve. Opposite is true. If we start at full employment, what happens when AD increases? So here's full employment on ADAS. Here's full employment on the Phillips curve, because the natural rate of unemployment is basically the same spot as full employment. and AD increases. So it puts us out here in this inflationary gap. We're going to go from full employment here, and we want to go in the opposite direction. This one goes up to the right, this one goes up to the left. And how do we make sure? Well, we know that price level went up, it was here and now it's here, and we know that output went up. So on this one, we got to show price level also going up with the inflation going up, and then instead of output, we've got unemployment. So here's where we were at with unemployment, and because output has gone up, we know unemployment's going to go down, so we're going to go down. So when you look at this, if you shift AD on ADAS, you're going to slide up and down the lines on the short run PC. If AD decreases, you're going to slide down to the right for PC curves, and if AD increases, you're going to slide up to the left for on the PC curve, short run PC curve. Now things are a little bit different when you're moving the AS line. Last thing to look at here, ADAS and the Phillips curve. Now we're going to move AS. So if we start at full employment, what happens when AS falls? So we're here at full employment for ADAS, and here's the purple, this is full employment for a long run Phillips curve, or just the Phillips curve. And I shift AS back to the left. On the Phillips curve, you're going to shift as well, this short run Phillips curve, but you're going to shift the opposite direction. So remember the shifters of AS are wrap. What do wrappers do? They move their arms like this. So this arm is your AS curve, and this arm is your Phillips curve. If you shift AS back to the left, you're going to shift Phillips curve back to the right. Okay? I'll show you more of that in class. And then down here, I've shifted AS down to the right. I'm going to shift Phillips curve down to the left. So AS comes down here, and then Phillips curve is going to come down this way. So they come in like this. Or if I move AS back to the left, I move Phillips curve back this way. So there's the Phillips curve and the AS line move together like this, like a wrapper, which is why the shifters are wrap. Okay. Make sure you put questions down on the form, and we'll talk more about it when you come back to class. Thanks a lot.